Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to all participants. Hi, my name is Adi. I'm the MC for today, or you can call me DY. Welcome to the AcE-Bs2024 Langkawi Conference. Now, without further ado, let's begin by can I ask you to stand for our national anthem? Everyone, please be seated. Next up, I will call Professor Dr. Osborne to play recital.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, segala puji hanya bagi-Mu ya Allah. Tuhan semesta alam, kepadamu kami berserah dan kepadamu jualah kami memohon perlindungan. Selawat dan salam ke atas Nabi junjungan besar Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kepada ahli keluarga baginda, para sahabat dan tabi'in. Ya Allah, kami mohon kepadamu akan keimanan yang sempurna. Ya Allah, keyakinan yang besar, ilmu yang berguna, hati yang khusyuk, lidah yang sentiasa berzikir kepadamu ya Allah. Limpah dan kurniakanlah kepada kami rezeki yang baik lagi berhati. Engkau lapangkanlah dada hati kami, Kau satukanlah hati-hati kami. Kau berkatilah perhimpunan kami ini pada hari ini ya Allah. Semoganya ia diterima sebagai satu perhimpunan yang hanya mengharapkan keridaan-Mu. Kau pandanglah kepada usaha kami yang kredit ini melalui AcE-Bs2024 Langkawi sebagai wadah dan satu usaha yang mulia di sisi-Mu. Kau kurniakanlah perjumpaan ini dengan bimbingan yang berterusan ya Allah. Bantulah kami, bimbinglah kami untuk meneroka ke alam ciptaan-Mu yang amat luas demi ke arah kebaikan, kelestarian dan kemakmuran manusia sejagat. Kau permudahkanlah untuk kami terus menjalankan program-program penyelidikan di muka bumi-Mu yang amat luas ini dan menyebarkan hasil dapatan di dalam konferensi yang sedang berlangsung ini dan yang dirancang di masa akan datang. Kau berkatilah segala usaha kami dan bantulah kami untuk tidak sedikit pun mengabaikan tanggungjawab kami sebagai khalifah di muka bumi ini. Kau padamkanlah dari hati-hati kami sifat-sifat keji yang tidak Engkau restui ya Allah. Sebaliknya, tanamkanlah di lubuk hati-hati kami dengan sifat-sifat kasih sayang, bantu-membantu dan bertoleransi. Sesungguhnya hanya kepada Engkau lah kami berserah dan hanya kepada Engkau jugalah kami memohon perlindungan. Rabbana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidayya warhamhum kama rabbayana shaghira. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We have the conference chair of speech by the chair himself, Professor Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Abbas.
Greetings, welcome to Langkawi. It's nice to be back again here after several years. Then we come back. Hopefully we can manage to go to London in June. Hopefully. Feeling which we might try some. Anyway, we need to thank you very much for attending today. May I see some hands who have actually came here in the previous Langkawi conference? Anybody? No? All person? No? All person? Okay, that's good. So I hope you will enjoy the other conference. A bit of housekeeping. First of all, according to please use it all the time to the dinner because it will be awkward in the security, to stop this at all times until dinner. And for the program for today, we will show you the place where to go for your lunch and also for the dinner when we take a group photo after the first breakout. So after the first breakout, we will have a group photo here. And then before when we go out for lunch, we have another photo outside and we'll show you where the barbecue dinner will be. And a bit of paper presenters. We normally do not allow for the payment to be delayed. It's in the conference policy. When you submit your paper, it's together with payment. That has been the policy. Okay. What we do is that for this conference, we plan the rule bit so that for some who like present but the within should have been like much earlier, because we know it will take time. Why am I saying this is for this presenter for today? Okay, he has to back out because he has yet to receive any end of complications. Okay, so because of this, and also there were a few more cases who withdrew last minute. Okay? So that made it very inconvenient position for us as a presenter. Okay? So starting from this conference, we will be very strict. We need, when you submit, you have to follow the conference policy. You have to submit together, everything together. Yeah. So we will not allow anything. Okay? Despite even the rule, still the inconvenience will be. Okay. Right. Good thing. Okay. A good thing for this conference. There are quite a number of face-to-face participants who are not around. Actually, it's more into your conscience. Actually, even though you're not presenting this morning, okay, but it is courtesy to attend and hear the other presenters because you wouldn't want an empty audience when you time to speak. Okay, so it's actually in your conscience, and also to be fair with your sponsor, participants should be attending the whole day conference. Okay, so it's always the good guys that they get the thing from the audience, from us actually. Okay, what I'm saying is that you are the good guys because you are here. Okay, so this message should have actually been heard for those not attending, because they might present it later part of the day. Okay, so like I say, it's more into your conscience and actually be fair to other presenters as well. Okay, So, you just attend for the sake of attending as an audience, okay? And I'd like to say some good news about we are for the barbecue tonight. We have actually created another 2 award-winning categories, okay? So what is it and who are the winners? Come over for the barbecue dinner tonight. All will be revealed, okay? So with that, I hope you'll be enjoying having a good conference today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Prof. Next, we recall upon our El Presidente of AMER, Assistant Professor Dr. Osborne.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. AMER Conference Chair yang berbahagia Prof. Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Abbas, AMER Board Members, International Scientific Committee Members, Editorial Teams, Professors, Doctor, Conference Participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. So it is a great pleasure and assignment that I welcome you to our 12th Asian Conference of Environment-Behaviour Studies, AcE-Bs2024, here in this beautiful surroundings of Langkawi. So this year, our conference has reached a new height of attracting a total of 56 abstracts. So congratulations to all of you. With 51 of them approved for presentation. While we celebrate this achievement, it is also important to note that 5 abstracts did not meet the compliance standards. So highlighting the rigorous selection process we uphold. So one of the remarkable aspects of this year's conference is the international collaboration it has fostered, and we have authors from 6 countries who have contributed with a significant number of abstracts being partnership with Malaysian authors. So Indonesia leads the collaboration again with 28 joint abstracts. Congratulations. And we have this followed by China with 13 and United Kingdom with 5. Additionally, we have contribution from Australia and Thailand showcasing the diverse and global nature of our research community. So congratulations. From the approved abstract, we proudly announce that 41 full papers have been transformed with an impressive return of 80%. So these papers are grouped into 13 subcategories, reflecting the diverse range of environment under studies, and the range of top 3 categories is under cooperative of education, learning environment with 6 papers, elderly environment and healing environment with 5 papers, and we also have significant contributions in categories such as children, young environment, design, creative environment, tourism, hospitality environment, or working environment with each 4 papers. So I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all crews, speakers, volunteers and organizers who have dedicated their time and resources to make this event possible. So once again, I welcome you to AcE-Bs2024, and I wish all of you the very best in your presentation, because I know that some of you here today are definitely going to be richer after today. So with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I declare AcE-Bs2024 Langkawi open. All the best. Thank you.
Right. Since we done the welcoming speech and also the speech from our president. Now, as Prof already informed, we will begin at 8:40 AM for the first breakout. And before I forget, now I would like to ask all the participants, when you guys present, we already have a laser pointer, so that you guys don't need to touch the keyboard at all. And also at the same time, we would like to ask also when you guys presenting, try to resist to hold the microphone. It's because there will be marks for the public speaking. It's because we want you guys to present freely with your hands. So can you guys understand? Yes. Okay. And also, I would like to ask everyone to silence your phones while the participants is presenting, so that there will be no interference. Okay, so since everyone is understand, so we will begin right now with our first breakout session with our chair, Dr. David Osborne from Hong Kong.
Day morning, first one's out. Quick set of the rules. We've got 10 minutes for presentation, 5 minutes for Q&A. So if the speakers would pay attention, I will warn you when you have, let's say when you've got 2 minutes to go. I'll give you the shout and then I'll cut you off at 10 minutes. So please stay within the 10 minutes. I would really appreciate the audience to get into this and to ask questions, because that's the purpose of the conference, is to give the speakers some feedback on their research. So apart from that, we're all ready to go. So I'm looking for Dr. Norshan Isa.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson, Dr. David. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all participants and committee from secretariats. My name is Norshan Iza and I am from UiTM Johor, Segamat campus. And these are my team members, the co-authors, PM Dr. Akmalani Osman, Nolina Muhammad Ali, Dr. Atik Jayanti, and Madam Nurasha Kamaruzaman. So for today, I will present a paper unraveling the impact of visual merchandising on consumer impulse buying behavior in hypermarket in Malaysia. And these are my presentation outline. So we start with the background of the study, continue with research objective and the literature reviews, conceptual frameworks, and then followed by research methodology, analysis and findings, discussion and contribution of the study, and finally with conclusion. Okay, to start with my presentation, I will start with an introduction. So basically, the rise of hypermarket in Malaysia from traditional retails has reshaped the consumer preferences and also the consumer behavior with these modern retail forms in a comprehensive range of fast-moving consumer goods or FMCG under one roof. Therefore, retailers and also manufacturers use the marketing strategy and visual merchandising to drive the impulse buying behavior. So in the retail industry, it shows a very aggressive competitions for the retailers and product manufacturers in order to gain attention of the consumer preferences to purchase the product. So retailers and manufacturers, they use visual merchandising as their marketing strategy to differentiate their product or their offerings from others to gain the consumers' attractiveness to buy the product. So in this study, we will investigate how this effective visual merchandising attract consumers to buy the product spontaneously. So from the table in this slide, this is from Crow and Beck 2016. So a survey was conducted to 600 consumers, and it's revealed that about 52.6% respondents said the in-store advertisement, like store signage and point of purchase display, influence the decisions to buy the product in hypermarket. So in this case, the in-store shopping experience and marketing stimuli like visual merchandising play a major or crucial impact on consumer purchase decisions. From the newspaper articles on the top there, so we can see that major player, hypermarket player like Arabian, Maidin, Lotus, Maidin and so on, they have invested certain amount of money, significantly amount of money to spend on visual merchandising or in-store layout and also store design. In these studies, In these studies, in general, we want to investigate the visual merchandising elements. What are the visual merchandising dimensions that triggers spontaneous purchase or impulse buying purchase, and also to test the role of consumer self-control in relationship between the visual merchandising and consumer impulse buying behavior at hypermarket. Specifically, there are three research objectives here. First one, to determine the relationship between visual practices or visual merchandising as the independent variables with dependent variable consumer impulse buying behavior among hypermarket consumers in Malaysia. And research objective number 2, to ascertain the mediation effect of consumer self-control and with visual merchandising practices and consumer impulse buying behavior. And thirdly, to determine the relationship between the mediator, consumer self-control, and DV, consumer impulse buying behavior among hypermarket consumers in Malaysia. These are among the literature review in these studies. Tin, Lunia, and Moser. So this define impulse buying as purchases made impulsively, triggered by stimuli and decided on the spot, or spontaneous purchase. Whereas Sachintra and Konara define visual merchandising as everything that the consumer sees, both exterior and interior, that create positive image of a business and desire to buy the product. Koshigan and Garippo define visual merchandising as an activity which coordinates effective merchandise selections, the product purchase, with effective merchandise display in the hypermarket. It will encourage consumers to buy the product. And whereas Burmester 2002 defines self-control as self-capacity to alter its own states and responses. So this relate to consumer desire and intention to purchase the product. Okay, the theoretical framework developed in this study is grounded on the stimulus, organisms, and response SOR model by Arabian and Russell, 1974. So in this study, stimulus refer to the on your left hand side here. So we have visual merchandising factors, which are store layout, store display, color, lighting, cleanliness, height of shelves, and additional IV, POP materials, point of purchase display, in-store digital media, and product packaging. Whereas consumer self-control is the organisms or the mediator, and consumer impulse buying behavior as the behavior response. The research methodology, so in this study, a field study was conducted to ascertain the significance and value of the consumer's connections or the link with visual merchandising elements in the hypermarket. So basically, a structured questionnaire were used in order to collect the data from shoppers in 6 selected hypermarket in Malaysia. And the unit of analysis here is individual. They are the consumers who buy the fast-moving consumer goods in this hypermarket. And the sampling technique used here is judgmental or purposive sampling. Basically, only to those shoppers who purchase fast-moving consumer goods. The research method used here is survey. So these are mall intercept and person-administered survey. It is a structured questionnaire, and the respondents collected or completed these studies is 265. And this is cross-sectional study where we gathered the data on a single occasion within 1 month period. And there are 6 selected hypermarket in Central or in Selangor. And the survey instrument, I use 7-point Likert scales, and there are 70 items in the questionnaire, and the data analyzed by using Smart PLS 3.0. So in short, Okay, to answer the research objective 1, the result shows that there are 5 independent variables, which are the first one, cleanliness, number 2, height of shelves, and POP or point of purchase display, in-store digital media, and finally, product packaging supported this hypothesis. And to answer research objective number 2, consumer self-control has positive mediating effects on the point of purchase materials, and it supported these studies, this hypothesis. And also number 2, the product packaging have a negative mediating effect, but it also supported this hypothesis. And to answer the research objective number 3, the R-squared value for consumer impulse buying behavior is 0.161, and it indicates that consumer self-control significantly influence the consumer impulse buying behavior, but with a small effect size. Next, we come to the discussion and contributions of the study. So from this study, from the findings, it shows that visual merchandising is significant and related to the consumer impulse purchase behavior in hypermarket. So the constructs or the independent variables that add in these studies shows that its significance and influence the consumer impulse buying behavior. And in terms of theoretical implications, so these are the extended theoretical model from Kochigans and Garippo 2012 by adding another 4 independent variables in the studies. And in terms of the practitioners or managerial implications, the hypermarket retailers, they need to have appropriate settings in the hypermarket. And the key findings here is that consumer self-control is mediated. The visual merchandising practices with consumer impulse buying, especially in terms of POP, point of purchase materials, and product packaging. So for the retailers, they need to have some initiatives or takes the effort in order to learn how to alter the consumer self-control that will lead to excessive impulse buying. Number 3, consumer self-control or the mediator significantly correlated to the consumer impulse buying behavior, and retailers. Can I continue? Shall I continue?
Keep on.
Okay. So from the managerial or practitioner
Oh,
perspective.
1 minute left.
Sorry?
1 minute.
One.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. So I continue.
Yeah, one picture. Yeah.
Okay, so retailers can influence the product choices in the hypermarket by implementing the visual merchandising strategy. Alright, so in order to minimize the consumer self-control. And my conclusion from the study, retailers and product manufacturers, they must understand well how this visual merchandising strategy works. And for the practitioner, they need to realign again their resources and to re-examine the visual merchandising issues in the hypermarket or in the retail perspective or industry. And visual merchandising is very important or very essential, as it will influence consumer impulse buying behavior in a hypermarket. And according to the President of Malaysia Retail Associations, although the rise of online shoppings, but visual merchandising is still reliable in the offline setting, in the offline shoppings. So the recommendations of the future studies, perhaps future researcher, they can use neuroscientific evidence in order to study wanting and liking systems of the consumer's behavior and preferences. and finally to have eye tracking tests in order to test the visual attentions of the consumer, how they pick up or browse the product in the hypermarket settings. So that's the end of my slide presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good. Okay, thanks a lot for the presentation, for kicking off the show for us. I have a question before I throw it to the floor. I was under the impression that this area of study had been quite extensively examined. So my question to you, or two questions. Firstly, what gap did you see in the knowledge base that drove you to do this study? And then secondly, what significant finding did you uncover that adds to the body of knowledge?
Okay, why I choose this topic basically because from the newspaper articles or from the industry perspective, they have spent so much money in order to do some transformation in the hypermarket. So they do refurbishments in the hypermarket to attract the consumers, because in the hypermarket industry they are very competitive. There are so many competitors. So we want to know, we want to know what are the factors, what are the dimensions that create or attract the consumer to buy the product. Because sometimes when we go to hypermarket, when we do shopping, sometimes we might bring our shopping list together, but sometimes there are sometimes when we might attract to certain product, to the packaging, to the product display, we buy the product instantly. So we want to study what are among the factors that contribute to that. And the previous researchers, okay, to answer your second questions, Kochikans and Garippo, they have do the research, but they use all the 6 independent variables. But then in my study, I have include another 4 new variables, but the 2 new variables show significance or supported the hypothesis. Okay, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Well, let me throw it to the floor. Any questions from the floor, please? Come. Too early in the morning for people to participate. Do we have any questions? Yes.
Good morning, Dr. David Ghazali. Okay, I just have one simple question actually. When I come across the presentation, Doctor, can you share the 7 Likert skill that you choose? Because we are commonly use 5. So can you just first share the 7 item, the Likert, and then why 7, not 5 generally? Just a simple one. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, Doctor. So basically, the items that I choose is from the previous study from Kochikans and Garippo. So they use 7. So then I use this is adopt and adapt from the questionnaire from the previous studies. So they use 7. Yeah.
The 7. What is what to?
I strongly agree, and until this total strongly disagree. So there's 7.
Only 5. So when you come to 7, I just want to get what is actually the 7 spectrum, the assessment menu?
Okay. Basically they have 7. So the highest, the most is strongly agree. Then they have slightly disagree. Then we have less slightly disagree and mostly disagree. But I need to refer back to my thesis.
So there is no neutral answer.
No neutral answer. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
I've lost sound again. Do we have any questions on the floor? Okay, listen. No, good. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. We'll see you at the next conference. Thank you. Okay, looking for Nurayati.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. David Robert Osborne. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes, I can.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to members of the floor. On behalf of this research,
I'm Norhati Mat Yusof, alias Muhammad Yusof from Universiti Putra Malaysia, and Dr. Al-Mukhlas Fikri from Universitas Singa Perbangsa, Karawang, Indonesia, will be presenting on research title Assessing the Market Potential of Mama Chef Purple Ice Cream made from underutilized local crops in Malaysia retail market. In Malaysia, sweet potato is highly produced by the farmer. Purnama and Azmi 2021 stated that the consumption and demand of local sweet potato among Malaysian consumer alarming low. So according to National Health Mobility Survey has reported that there are increasing number of Malaysians with overweight and obesity. The production of sweet potato in Malaysia decreased to the lack of demand and consumption. As we can see, Malaysia is the first ranking and the highest percentage of obese record with 15.6%, and followed by Brunei, Thailand, and Indonesia. Words to highlight: majority of Malaysia consume less fiber in their dietary intake. In addition, in culinary sector, all sweet potato and especially purple sweet potato is not considered as ingredient in most traditional Malaysian dishes. So in Malaysia, the development of dessert, including ice cream, local crops, has become one of the main initiatives driven by manufacturers and small medium enterprise (SME). In line with the growing concern about healthy eating among local consumers, ice cream has become the most popular food choice among population nowadays, especially the ice cream lovers. Various types of ice cream have been introduced to the market, which include ice cream made from local cash crops. However, purpley sweet potato ice cream has rarely been found in Malaysian market despite the various health benefits. So, based on the gap of the study, to date, most research Malaysia focus on quality attribute of Malaysia purple flash sweet potato at different field conditions as Sha'ari et al. 2021, growth and yield performance of 5 purple sweet potato, accession of collivium soil, Yusof et al. 2018, and effect and moist heat treatment and color improvement, psychochemical, antioxidant, and resistant starch properties of dried purple sweet potato powder, Navarra et al. 2018. However, as gap of the study, little study focused on the dessert product, particularly ice cream in food acceptability process among trained panelists using purple sweet potato fresh as main ingredient and market potential. There are four objectives for the study. Number 1 is to develop Mama Chef purple ice cream from purple sweet potato. Number 2, to determine the nutritional value of Mama Chef purple ice cream. Number 3, to determine the accepted level of Mama Chef ice cream among trained panelists. And the last one, to examine the marketability of Mama Chef purple ice cream in retail outlet from the perspective of trained panelists and followed by research questions. So the following part, I will pass to Dr. Al-Mukhlas Fikri to present. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me continue the presentations. So, previous slide. Yeah, previous slide. Okay, so this was an experimental research with mixed method approach. Previous slide.
Okay, is this one?
No, previous, the methodology.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this was an experimental research employing mixed method approach, quantitative and qualitative. There were 11 trained panelists employed in study in food product development with criteria. There were female and male respondent. He or she must has a good health, including do not have high blood pressure, diabetic, do not have fever, sore throat, flu, which may affect the gustatory sensations, and they must be less than 60 years old with at least an experience. For hedonic test, we use descriptive sensory test using 9 scale with 1 strongly disagree and 9 strongly agree. For interview questions, we use semi-structured questionnaire using English and Malaysian language. For the pilot study, there were 6 respondents. There were staff at faculty, and the data collection started from September to March 2023. SPSS version 24 was used with thematic analysis for interview analysis. Next. Yeah. Here is the characteristic of the trained panelists we employ in this study. There were equally from male and female. There were Malaysians with Islam religion, the age between 30 and 60 years old, and they were mainly married, originated from Selangor and Persekutuan. Our hedonic test showed that they mainly had acceptance more than 8 with over all attributes. Color, taste, or flavor are the most influential factors in overall acceptability of ice cream. Next. The data here is the marketability of purpley ice cream from the perspective of the trained panelists. According to the trained panelists, our ice cream has a potential to be promoted in retail outlets, and it has good acceptability. And the trained panelists say that it is acceptable, it can compete with other options, and also it differs in terms of color, appearance, and texture. So our ice cream seems to be unique as compared to the other ice cream. Next. Also, from the trained panelists, they showed that the ice cream can be consumed, and also they may like it, they may love it. If this ice cream is a healthy ice cream, the consumer may buy this ice cream, and it is suitable for all ages. Okay, next. And here is the conclusions. Mama Chef Purpley ice cream formulations has been accepted by trained panelists with a good marketability potential in retail outlet. For the implications, currently very small amount of research has been carried out in this area, particularly product development of PSP, and the level of acceptance is still limited. So from the study, it can contribute to the new body of knowledge in Malaysia and extending the body of literature, especially for sweet potato development. For the practical aspect, this research may increase the understanding of acceptance level of PSP ice cream. and it will help the entrepreneurs, community, and governments to understand, especially the acceptance level of the AcE-Bs ice cream. And for the relevant authorities, it will be good in for the planning ahead for any research or development activities based on purple sweet potato. So I think that's all our presentations. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Excellent, thank you. I have a question, if I may kick off, as always. Can you give us just a little more background of the so-called trained panelists, because you don't mention what their qualification is that makes them a trained panelist. So could you just elaborate on the background, please?
Okay, good morning, Doctor. I'm Rosmaliza, the team researcher for this group. Okay, for the question, okay, the trained panelists involved in this research is actually from manufacturers, okay, 6 of them from food industry manufacturers who are experienced in the food product development, particularly on the desserts and also the ice cream, okay? And then the other 5 is actually the experts from what we call academic line, okay, which involve more than 10 years in sensory evaluation and also food product development. With this combination of the experience and also expertise, okay, so that's the output or result that we get from the research.
Okay, one reason I raised the question, and you might want to re-examine it, is one of the responses that you recorded said, the response from one of your trained panelists said, it tastes good and purpley color. That doesn't sound terribly objective.
Yes, okay, because when we produce the purpley ice cream, it is actually from the natural color of the purple sweet potato, because purple sweet potato itself contains anthocyanins from the purple color, okay? And then this anthocyanins or the purple color, okay, actually originated from the flesh of the purple sweet potato. So other than that, okay, the purple sweet potato also has a creamy taste. And then from this research, okay, from the response from the trained panelists, we found out that the creamy taste or a kind of a cheesy taste, a kind of a creamy taste of the purple sweet potato influence the taste of the what we call purpley ice cream. We didn't use any coloring agent and also food additive to enhance the flavor of the ice cream. It is actually a natural flavor of ice cream from purple sweet potato.
Okay, cool, thank you. Right, questions from the floor, please. Anybody in the audience like to participate?
Again, Assalamualaikum, very good morning. Ghazali again, Doc. Okay, my question and my concern is about how are you going to sustain and maintain the production, because I love sweet potato and the raw price for the current price for sweet potato, the raw one is reasonably expensive. So what will be the market price of the ice cream, as well as how are you going to get the supplier to to sustain the ice cream? It might be good, but you need to make sure that it is mass production so that the price can be reduced. But if it is for a short term or small scale, I think it might be a bit pricey. So what is your comment on that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Dr. Ghazali. Actually, this research and project is collaborate with pharma Malaysia, okay, and then and involve or collaborate also with the small medium entrepreneur under pharma, okay, which are among the what we call farmers from Ulu Cucuh Sepang, TPKP Ulu Cucuh Sepang. whereby all the farmers are plant the purple sweet potato. And then actually the source of purple sweet potato that we use for this research come from them. And then besides the what we call planting the purple sweet potato, okay, we also what we call teach them, okay, transfer the knowledge how to produce the purple sweet potato ice cream. And then from there, okay, the sustainability of the ice cream also will be assessed by the farmer in terms of the marketability, and in terms of the mass production, we also have besides the farmers itself, because they also have the machine after we have delivered the transfer knowledge, and we also have the collaborators from the ice cream what we call supplier, okay, from Meru, Klang, Selangor, whereby this supplier is actually have the own machine, and then the supplier also used to what we call market our purple ice cream when they have received invitation for the ceremonies, okay, or event. Okay, so this is actually a project granted both from the what we call UICM and also Pharma Selangor, and also the others what we call involve the communities, okay, farmers community. So of course, actually nowadays I want to mention a little bit on the price. Previously, the price is almost 480 cents per kilogram of the purple sweet potato. But then now in 2024, when we continue with the ice cream, okay, we realize that we get the response or feedback from the farmers and also farmer, the demand low, and then the what we call price of the per kilogram of purple sweet potato decrease to the 2 ringgit and only 2 ringgit 50 cent. Okay, so it is a tremendously decrease in terms of price, even though the health benefits of the purple sweet potato is very broad. Not only anti-cancer, okay, what we call low glycemic index, okay, anti-diabetics, anti-inflammatory, and so on. So that's why we what we call with this collaboration, and also with the production from the what we call ice cream supplier, I believe this project will be sustained in the market, inshallah.
An idea how much will be the price for the small tub of the sweet potato ice cream? 250 mil. So what will be the ideal price for Malaysia?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, when we count for the what we call 250 gram, okay, the cost only what we call 1 ringgit and 85 cent. Okay, include the packaging. But then, of course, in the market, we need to mark up, and then we decided what we call the price is around 7 ringgit and 50 cent. So actually, the raw materials used for this ice cream is very low, because we didn't use any food additive, and then we also use the formulation that is similar to the commercial ice cream. Okay, and then with the we provide with 2 types of ice cream, not only the soft ice cream, and we also provide hard ice cream. Okay, it is such a kind of a McDonald's ice cream, and also in a tub of ice cream. Thank you for that question.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. I think we're running out of time for you. So thank you so much for the presentation. We'll see you at the next conference. Thank you. Okay, so looking for Nazrul Hadi.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. I bring to the breakout session chair, Dr. David Osborne, the organizing committee, and all participants. Today, we would like to present our research project entitled Development and Validation of Hypertension Educational e-book for children aged 10 to 12 years old. Together with me today is our co-author, Dr. Al-Mukhlas Fikri. Coincidentally, he will be presenting back-to-back with the previous team that he has. So I'm Najul Hadi, and today we will have Dr. Mukhlas to present with me. To start off, I would like to invite Dr. Mukhlas to present. Over to you, Dr. Mukhlas.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, so yeah, back-to-back presentation. Okay, in Malaysia, yeah, we come to the background. Yeah, in Malaysia, so according to National Health and Morbidity Survey, the prevalence of hypertension is very high, 30% in 2019, and it is quite reductions from the previously reported in 2015, 30.3% and 32.6% in 2011. And I think the prevalence also made the same with in Indonesia. Well, as we know that hypertension is conditions with extremely high blood pressure due to the narrowing blood arteries, forcing the heart to work harder to maintain the pressure. And the management, especially for modifiable risk factors, provides a beneficial effect, especially in controlling the annual high blood pressure deaths. Moreover, early childhood education is crucial in preventing disease, and sustainability of healthy behavior throughout this stage will develop a healthy adult in the future. Next. So that's why our project would like to develop and validate a child-friendly ebook to help increase hypertension's knowledge among children between 10 and 12 years old and prevent hypertension in the future. Next. We already searched several literature reviews to see the potential of our ebook in promoting health benefit for, especially in hypertension prevention for children. And we know that childhood is vital for developing health-related behaviors, and childhood affords a golden opportunity to promote or interrupt unhealthy long-term trajectories. During the childhood, if we provide a good behavior, it may prolong to the future as the adult. And when early education confirmed that is effective if sustained throughout the childhood, could contribute to healthier young adulthood. A study from Belu et al. 2017, they show that children's lack of knowledge and skill may contribute to childhood hypertension, while ebook helping children to develop literacy skill equally and sometimes better than printed ones. That's why a child-friendly concept, which includes module activities or programs aimed at early childhood education, is the best approach to providing knowledge to children. Next. So we divided our study into 3 phases. The first phase is content analysis and literature review. We compiled the guidelines and evidence-based materials. Then we designed and developed an ebook, including layout, text, photos, cartoons, color illustrations, and arrangements. After that, in phase 3, the content will be validated by expert judges. We employ 6 to 10 expert judges with proposed sampling, the criteria at least 3 years of experience in this field. We provided them with a Google Drive link consisting of a book and Google Form of Educational Content Validation Instrument in Health, or AcE-Bs. AcE-Bs contains 8 questions with 3 subdomains: objective, structure, and presentation, and relevance. The Likert skill rating was employed. The CV score was computed by adding the total points and dividing them by the total number of expert judges. A minimum value of 0.83 CVI is acceptable to prove the validity of the content. For the next, I think Dr. Hadi will present.
All right, thank you, Dr. Mukhlas. So we move on to the findings. So in phase 2, we managed to develop the ebook. So basically, these are the cover page of our ebook. So it consists of 39 pages of booklet, comprises of 10 chapters, 12 subtopics, and overall we have 19 learning objectives in overall of the booklet. So these are the list of content, and these are some of the content of the ebook. So we have a storyline. The character is Asif, the mother, father, and also the doctor. So we have the story about how he developed unhealthy lifestyle and how the doctor managed him throughout the process. So we also include a few simple menu that can be done by children who read this book. And we have a few activities that to test and interact with the readers. In phase 3, we do validate the content validity of this ebook. So we have about 7 experts, consists of 4 nutrition and dietetics experts, and 2 education and design professionals, and 1 we invite from primary care medicine specialists to validate the ebook. So the CVI score of ebook is 1, which is higher than 0.83, which indicate this book is acceptable. The content is acceptable and valid. But there are some comments and recommendations from the experts. So we classified into 6 domains, which is content, words of choices, use of numbers instead of long words and sentences. So and also the organization of the topics, as well as the layout and design and use of visual aids. So they encourage us to use more visual rather than words. So we improvised the ebook based on the recommendation, and as a discussion, the CVI score of 1 confirmed that the book was developed and validated with a high degree of agreement between the panels. We suggested that changes that further improve the module. This health educational booklet conveyed the idea using cartoons, colorful infographic, straightforward language rather than we use scientific words, and a few interactive games that can enhance the understanding and also to engage the knowledge to the children who read the book. The facts were explained using the simplest term and layman's terminology rather than the scientific and medical words, attended by visual and illustration to enhance the children's understanding and engagement. As a conclusion, the professional panels validated this educational booklet with high agreement rate. So this study designed an educational ebook focused on hypertension knowledge for children aged 10 to 12 years old, but it was not intended to replace current guidelines and used by healthcare providers, but as a supported material or leisure readings materials for the children. We recommend further research to measure this booklet understandability, actionability, and sustainability for the targeted population, the children. This study aims to measure the effectiveness of the educational material in increasing hypertension knowledge among 10 to 12 years old children. We also plan to translate the ebook into English, Mandarin, and Tamil before we further expand this book for the use of our Indonesian counterpart. The development of a hypertension education ebook for children aged 10 to 12 can serve as valuable resource for education, empowerment, and also support in preventing and managing this common medical condition, which is hypertension. With that, I think that is our end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hey, I got a bunch of questions, but I shall limit myself to just 2. The first obvious question is, why do you limit yourself to a 10 to 12 age group? That's an incredibly narrow target. So why so young? Do they care? And why such a narrow band?
All right, thank you, Dr. Robert Osborne, for your question. Why we choose 10 to 12? because they are limited material for children and young or young school children. Why 10 to 12 not below or for secondary school in Malaysia? Because 10 to 12 we think that they are a bit independent to read and understand the booklet with minimal supervision from their parents and whatnot. So they are a bit mature compared to their younger, the younger school children.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I won't pursue it, but let me ask you one other question, then we'll throw it to the floor. One thing I was not clear on at the end of the day is whether this research is to firstly, is it to evaluate whether an ebook is a good tool for this survey, or is it to evaluate your ebook as a tool? So is it the evaluation of ebooks as a general tool, or is it assuming ebooks work and looking at the validity of your particular ebook? I couldn't quite figure that one out.
Okay, for this part of presentation is to evaluate the content by the experts, not the acceptance from the population. So it's not presented here. So this is only for the content presentation.
It's evaluating your particular ebook. Is that correct?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's leave it at that. Open to the floor. Questions from the floor, please. Wow, looks like you're off the hook then. Nobody? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Let us move on then. Thank you very much for the presentation. Right. So looking for Ainal Hayati.
Okay, hi and good morning to all. I introduce myself properly. My name is Ainul Hayati binti Abdul Aziz from UiTM Penang. And today I will present my research, which is towards sustainable food system, exploring the impact of food allergies on health and well-being in university settings. Actually, this is the concept paper that I presented before, so there will be no findings for this presentation. Okay, so in this context of study, I will describe about food choice, food allergy, and also some factors that influence food choice behavior. So as you can see on the slide, food choice is the process of selecting, acquiring, preparing, and also consuming foods, as it influenced by some factors which are intrapersonal, social, physical, and also societal factors. So not just that, food choice also can be hard for people, especially for university students who are suffering with food allergies alone without their parental supervision. So next, they also become fear of aversive as they become fear to eat food they are allergic to. So as you can see, this is the percentage of the most significant impacts of food allergy on students' lives. They become afraid to consume some food as it becomes fatal sometimes to them. So the literature review of this study have been divided into 4 sections. According to the factors that I listed before, the first one is intrapersonal factors. That can be the level of nutrition-related knowledge, self-efficacy, health, and perception towards foods. If people who are suffering with food allergies have a good knowledge about food allergy, they will tend to follow proper ways to minimize the risk of getting the allergies effect, especially for university students who are away from their parents when they are dining out, or even when they find food at the supermarket or store. So this is the ways to minimize the risk. But based on Kabir et al., the majority students have limited knowledge about the health benefits of nutritious food items. So they tend to consume excessive amounts of fast foods and also sugar-sweetened beverage. So next, on the social environmental factors that directly interact with students in their everyday surroundings, such as families and also friends. For allergy students who are suffering with physical symptoms, they can lead to the social isolation, anxiety, and also other psychological distress. So phenomena like bullying have been found to be prevalent, particularly among them, especially for university students. As you can see on the poster itself, it said that 1/3 of 251 food allergy children reported being bullied because of this disease. Okay, now we move on to the physical environmental factors, which is limited time. Many students have limited time to prepare meals, as they are often engaged with their university activities like classes, and they need to balance their studies. Not just that, they also prefer engage other university activities other than cooking, especially when they are preparing meals for themselves only. So they will consume instant food as the meals replacement between their studies. But as an allergic student, they must read the ingredients itself on the food product, because it is very dangerous if they eat the items that they are allergic to. So I already stated on the poster the 8 foods that can cause the allergic reaction, as it can be ranged from mild response to anaphylaxis and potentially to deadly reaction. So it's very dangerous if they are accidentally eat the allergen food. And the last factors which is that influence the food choice is societal factors, such as the media. Many teenagers, like university students, are easily influenced by food trends shown on TikTok, Facebook, and also Instagram. But little did they know that the consumption of unhealthy foods has been linked to the extensive use of social media. So it may lead to the risk of developing unfavorable physical and mental health outcomes. So allergy also can be moderates the relationship between those factors that have been listed before. People who have food allergy experience various challenges that can significantly impact their lives due to the accidental consumption of allergens, facing social discrimination, struggling to find seafood, and they need to constantly having to check the safety of the food.
Excuse me, 2 minutes left.
Okay.
2 minutes.
So this is the theoretical framework of my study. Okay. The systematic review of existing literature was conducted. The review encompassed academic database, core journals, and also authoritative sources. The inclusion criteria and also exclusion criteria have been used in this study. So, in conclusion, this study is aligning with Sustainable Development Goal SDG 3, which is good health and also well-being, as this study contributes on promoting health and ensuring to access the food. Future research also should prioritize longitudinal investigations to monitor the health outcomes of allergic university students. So all I can say that the research effort should start to advance progress towards achieving the SDG 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Let me start off with what seems like a very obvious question, but I wasn't clear. Can you restate clearly what your research goals are or were?
Okay, so my research is about to investigate.
Now the research goals, the goals.
Sorry?
The goals of the research, the aim of the research. It wasn't clear. I understood the presentation, but I wasn't clear exactly what you were searching for.
So this study is to investigate the relationship of the moderating effect of food allergy on the factors that I've been listed, which are intrapersonal, social, physical, and societal factors. So I do this study because I need to fill in the gap, fill in the research gap, which is the true incidence of food allergy in Malaysia still remain unknown, especially among university students.
Okay, Karen, thank you. One other question, then I'll throw it to the floor. Would you mind, can you just expand a little bit on, you mentioned about social pressures on people kind of influencing them to be less careful. Could you just elaborate on the issue of social pressures leading people into bad behavior?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. At one stage, you mentioned about peer pressure causing people to eat food that they normally wouldn't eat, food that they were allergic to. I just wondered if you had any more information on how prevalent that peer pressure was.
The peer will be influence their friends. Sorry. So the peer will be influence the food allergy students, as I can say that some people might not understand the crucial of, the dangerous of this disease, as it can be fatal. They might be influenced their friends to eat some foods that they might not to know that my friends are allergic to food like shrimp, so they will avoid it from giving to their friends.
Yeah, okay, cool, thank you. Let's throw it open to the floor. Do I have any questions from the floor, please? No? Okay, well, listen, thank you so much for the presentation. Hopefully we see you next time. Thank you. Okay, looking for Dr. Narlina.
Right, good morning, Dr. David Osborne.
Good morning.
Yeah, organizing committee and also fellow audience for today. I'm Narlina from Center of Dietetics, Faculty of Health Sciences, and I'm here today to share part of my study findings, actually entitled The Effect of Food Intake on Mood in Higher Education Institute Students in Malaysia. I'll be presenting with my fellow researcher, Dr. Agil from Indonesia. Dr. Agil, are you in?
Yes, Ms. Alina.
Okay, all right. Good morning. All right. Okay, a little bit on the background. All right. Mental health disorders among higher education students in the past decade have increased. Now, this prevalence was increasing steadily way before the pandemic. And of course, the pandemic has worsened the situation. Right, now sharing with you a little bit on the findings way back in 2018. So this study was actually conducted in a faculty in a public university in Malaysia, and it shows that around 85% of the student reported of having anxiety, 65% reported of having stress, and 51% were actually depressed. Now, mental health disorders would actually lead to poor college attendance and performance among the students. And in the long-term effect, it would actually cause dysfunctional relationship, low rates of employment, and also income. Okay, let me introduce the topic a little detailed. Now, the literature suggests that there is a link between food and dietary intake with the mood of the person and also the mental health. Now, food also has effect on the mental health of people. Okay, and mood also in the long run would affect the mental health of a person. Now, what is mood actually? Mood refers to the reaction that influences a person's behavior and thought processes. Whereas mental health, there are various kinds of mental health, but for the purpose of this study, we have only chose depression, anxiety, and also stress. Hence, getting to know more the relationship between all these three parameters will help us to plan a much more effective intervention to tackle this issue. So having introduced the title, the objective of this presentation would be to explore the effect of food on mood among higher education institute students in Malaysia. Right. What does the literature has? Academic emotion affects students' education experiences, leading to poor eating behavior and unhealthy food choices. Mental health relies on emotion, stress responses, and also mood. Now, the literature suggests that food affects mood, causing over-consuming of comfort food. What is comfort food? Comfort foods are basically food that a person consumes just to have a feel-good feeling, just to have positive feeling. However, overindulgence of this comfort food would lead to non-communicable diseases and obesity. And also, study shows that actually food that's high in salt, sugar, and also fat is actually linked with depression, anxiety, and also stress. Right. Before that, one notable thing that about the literature is that all the findings are basically inconsistent and they do differ according to population. Now I'll hand over to my fellow researcher, Dr. Agil.
Okay, this study was part of a mixed method study, which was conducted in two phases. First phase was the quantitative design, while phase 2 was qualitative. In first phase, a questionnaire consisting of socio-demographic, the ASS and ABBQ was shared with higher education institution students through various social media websites. The inclusion factors include all higher education institute students and are able to read and write in Malay and or English. And the exclusion include they have a medical health issue that may interfere with the food intake or if they have been diagnosed with any mental disorder previously. And a grounded theory method was used to recruit 12 participants from phase 1 and participants were selected based on their scores in the ASS. And those who scored severe and extremely severe were considered to be included into the study. And if they consent, participant recruitment was stopped after the data saturation was achieved. The interview were transcribed verbatim and arranged into them and a quote. Next, the result. And the result revealed that the most of the participants were females, bachelor degree, and are from public university. Only 11 out of 24 participants were in the category of normal weight. The graph showed that the most of the participants were involved in emotional eating. Thank you, Ms. Raina.
Okay, so let me share with you the findings from the qualitative study. Now, all the teams, the interviews were actually arranged according to the type of food choices, all right, and the effect on mood. The type of food was arranged according to the taste of the food, which is sweet, salty, spicy, and bitter. This is the findings from this study. Now, participants explained that when they consume sweet food, it tends to make them feel calmer and also happier. And most of the students actually like to consume chocolates and also ice cream. Now, there were a number of students that actually narrated that they tend to binge on salty food, mostly on chips and crackers, because this helped them to feel calm and also focused. Now, there were a number of students also that actually narrated that when they are a little bit stressed and too tied up with their assignments, they tend to eat spicy food because this tends to make them calmer. And of course, a lot of students narrated that they like to choose to drink coffee because it helps to keep them focused. Okay, let's see what the literature has to support these findings. Right. In general, the intake of sweet sugar would actually increase the tryptophan synthesis in the body. And tryptophan would actually increase the production of serotonin. Now, serotonin is actually a neurotransmitter that is involved in making us to feel happy, you know, the feel-good sensation. So the amount of sugar taken, it actually helps to make, it increases the serotonin level in the body, hence it makes us to feel happy and calm. Now, as per the studies, most of them like to take chocolates, and chocolate itself actually contains theobromine, which also shows that it can actually increase tryptophan in the body and would actually increase serotonin, hence will make the person feel much calmer. Now, how does salt affect?
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. Right, how does actually salt affect? Now, the study shows that the more salt you take, hence it would actually increase the cortisol excretion through the urine. What is cortisol? Cortisol is actually a hormone that is often associated with stress. Hence, the more salty food, the good salt intake, it tends to increase the cortisol excretion from the body, hence makes the person feel much more relaxed. Now, how does spicy food makes a person calm? Because it contains capsaicin, and capsaicin is shown to cause signals to the brain to release endorphin, and endorphin actually, it mimics the pathway of morphine. So it makes a person to feel calm and relaxed also. And coffee, it increases alertness and focus because it blocks the neurotransmitters such as adenosine. However, the literature suggests, the evidence suggests that the effects are actually short-term. Sugar, salt, and caffeine is actually linked with depression, anxiety, and also stress. And high calories and sugar is also one of the reasons to increase the risk of obesity and anxiety in the long run. The little limitation in this study was the online data collection, but we couldn't help much because this study was conducted during the pandemic era. Now, the recommendation, of course, that we would have an enriched data if we were to conduct the interviews face-to-face. And I think that it would benefit a lot if the government or NGO would actually educate on healthy food choices to reduce undesirable future health outcomes and to improve the mental health of the higher education institute students. Now, to end my presentation, I would like to end it with a quote from Lao Tzu. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living at present. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, cool. No, yeah, sorry, I was stumbling a bit. It seems to be very clear from the qualitative research that when people are stressed or troubled or whatever, they reach for comfort foods. And you've defined very clearly what those comfort foods are and how they work to reduce the stress or the strain or whatever. The problem is when they reach for the comfort foods, that ultimately leads to bad health and obesity and all horrible little things afterwards. So that's what we call between. So either you don't take the comfort foods and you remain stressed and depressed, or you take the foods, remove the depression, but then get fat young. That's the problem. How do you resolve that?
Okay, so actually what's the
What are our healthy alternatives? That's a way of looking, another way of looking at what are the healthy alternatives that you recommend people should follow?
Okay, firstly, as a dietitian myself, there is no such thing as we have to eliminate any food. Hence, we can actually educate this population, which is the higher education students, on what is the side effect or bad effect of this particular food. That means food, for instance, if we take sugary food, so we have got ice creams, we have got chocolates, so we can tell them that it's high in sugar, it's high in fat, and in long run you'll put on weight, and in long run it does lead to depression, anxiety, and stress. However, you can have it, how much? So we can tell that, once a week, or when you really feel like having it, how much you should have it. And that's going to lay back to a lots of recommendation, which in education material or in the intervention study, then we could actually educate how much, as in proportion and also frequency, and how much they can take. That would be the first thing on the amount of food. And the other coping mechanisms that we can actually teach them would be, food is not the only way to feel calmer or relaxed. So we can actually teach them mindfulness. So there's a lot of things on mindfulness online now. You can either do meditation, or you can do colorings, you can go out and have a brisk walk and stuff like that. And we can also teach certain types of exercises, stretching exercises maybe, and light aerobics, depending on what they like to do. So there is certain kind of activities or physical activities that can help them to cope with being anxious, and also to to make them feel more calm and also focused. I hope I answered your question.
You answered it very well, thank you. Yeah. Okay, good, thank you for that. And how about the floor? Anybody on the floor want to participate in our conversation? Everybody's very happy with their diet, it would seem. Thank you so much, thank you. And finally, we're looking for our presenter, Dr. Mohammed Ghazali.
Assalamualaikum, very good morning, Dr. David, how are you?
Good, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So, my name is Ghazali. So, I'm the part of the research team. Let me introduce first my team members. So actually today we are glad to present a conceptual paper that we call Healing Library at Seberang Jaya. So this is actually a conceptual paper about Snoozland Room for mind, body and soul. So the members is actually Dr. Roslinda Ghazali. So she is from JKR Pulau Pinang. Mr. Muhammad Hidayat from Universitas Indonesia. Madam Smiley J. Supriya and Mr. Jay Chandran is from United Arabs, and Madam Sharania Hashim is actually from Transmit. This is a private company that support the project. So together with me this morning is actually Madam Smiley. So are you online, Madam?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So welcome. How are you today? Good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
All right. So over to you.
Good morning to everyone. Hi, nice to meet everyone. And it is the time to participate with this wonderful conference. This is Smiley. We're going to talk about the topic. It's a Snoozland therapy. And so let's start with what is Snoozland. And Snoozland is just originated in the Netherlands in 1970. And actually, there are so many Dutch occupational therapies has been started this Snoozland. What do you mean by this Snoozland? Snoozland is pronounced Susan Ha Len. It's roughly translated from the Dutch meaning to explore and relax. The Suzlin rooms are multisensory rooms, could improve the behavior and quality of life with the mental retardations and mental illness. Actually, this Suzlin room, it's giving the patients relaxations and also improving lot of cognitive skills. You can see when you see the Suzlin environments provide a direct and indirect stimulation that offers the sensory approach. Shall we move to the next slide, please? Let's move on to what is the literature review behind this Suzlin. So this Suzlin has been taken from the model of VAK. VAK means it is something called as a visual, auditory and kinesthetic. This VAK model is divided into 3 different learning styles. That means the patients will be learning the different experience from visual and whatever they are learning through the vision and also through the auditory senses, and also the kinesthetic means that is the movement senses. So this 3 process will improves the person's healing process, especially in the mental stimulations. So it gives the positive effects of the concentration and also the enjoyable during the this type of stimulations. It also helps to improve the behavior and quality of life, especially for the mental retardation and mental illness peoples, and is very suitable for the education process and even the treatment methods and during the relaxation time, that is called leisure time. And it increases the motivation skills and interest, and it is more benefited especially in the treatment area, that is a therapy and educational purpose. So that's what a lot of the user are using this Suzlin things, and it's regulating the better amount of sensory stimulation that experiences especially the person who have mental illness, for example the child who have learning disability and autism spectrum disorder, and also you can see the attention deficit disorder and so many people. Let's move on to the objectives. This paper explores the elements of Suzlin environment that aids the autistic space. And number 2, you can see the environment promotes a sense of enjoyment and relief from the tension and pressure, consequent improvement in the general behavior. And third one, to explore the free therapeutic access for low and middle income families in Subrangjaya area. So this is the 3 objectives we follow for this research. And the next slides will be continued by my co-fellow, and over to Dr. Ghazali.
Okay, thank you, madam. So now I will share the method of our study. So we divided into 3 stages as follow. So stage 1, actually we start with the conceptual room design and usability. So this is where the JKR person involved in designing the room, the space that may later be used as our Suzlin room. So we engage in scoping review where we determine the room characteristic. At the same time, we identify what are the best to be implemented in Subrangjaya. So before that, for some audiences, especially international audiences and our chairperson, Subrangjaya is one place in Penang Island, in Pulau Pinang. So Subrangjaya is actually a name of a place. So during the stage 1, we have visited our client, and then we identified the demographic characteristic of the Subrangjaya people. As you know that in Malaysia, we have 3 major characteristics of socio-economy, which is known as T20, M40 and B40. So M40 and B40 can be considered as middle and below national income statistic, so where it can be considered as low income family. So on stage 2, we engage with the equipment selection, where we conduct a space and cost analysis, where we try to minimize the cost, but at the same time we try to fulfill the basic needs of the Suzlin room. And then on the stage 3, we determine the service delivery with the Subrangjaya library. So during this stage, actually we deliver where the delivery take into account the priority of the equipment that should be delivered during first stage, second stage, and third stage. Okay, so and during the stage 3 also we engage with therapists, specifically occupational therapists, And during this stage, we involve with consultation and monitoring of the usage of the snoozelen room. Okay, so now I will share you the result of stage 1. So just to recap that according to AAP, okay, American Academy of Pediatrics, so sensory activity may help to calm the children with autism and reinforce their desired behavior. So based on this literature, the first stage of the equipment that we select is focusing on the calming of the children. Okay, during the previous presentation, we are talking and we have heard about the best food for thought. So now we are looking for the sensory food for thought. Okay, so during the stage 1 also, we managed to, we deliver the sensory room in a designated area. Actually, the Seberang Jaya Library is a huge library where they have few rooms. But during the visit, we identified only one room that is suitable, and that room has been designated to become the snoozelen room for the library. So the room should provide the sensory input and relax atmosphere. It should be generally pleasant, soothing. Okay, so it should be able to supply and to support all the 5 senses as mentioned earlier.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay. So these are the things that we consider during the stage 1. So the room should have all the characteristics and all the equipment that support all the senses. So during the stage 2, these are the equipment that have been selected. So there are tons of equipment under snoozelen, but we need to select the priority as I mentioned earlier. So you can see here we have aroma diffuser here, and then we have sound equipment, we have speakers and projectors, and we have few other items during the first stage, but we cannot deliver all the equipment due to the limited budget from the library. Okay, so stage 3, we conducted the knowledge transfer program. You can see on the far right of my slide. So this is the certified members who get the certification. Okay, this is our research team, and then this is the transformation of the room. And then as a conclusion and recommendation from the Healing Library in Seberang Jaya, so we believe that will be a benchmark for national, where it can be used as a research center as well as a therapeutic activity room for M40 and B40. And we believe in the future there is a lot of other libraries in Malaysia, in the whole country, will try to adapt and adopt the concept, and perhaps at the end of the day, people with low income level can access to the snoozelen room, where it is known as expensive and luxury room outside. Okay, it's all that. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Thank you. Thank you. Let the audience go. Cool. Let me kick off the first question. I was looking at the presentation. It seems very much descriptive rather than exploratory, your presentation. What do you see as the value of the research that you're presenting? Could you summarize the value of it? Is it, do you feel you're discovering something, or are you developing on a description?
Thank you, bro. Actually, the first idea when we proposed the snoozelen room at the library, as we know that the library is a public places where everybody can access the library. And then the snoozelen room can be known as one of the luxurious treatment room that not available in all healthcare facilities. So we try to collaborate with the Seberang Jaya Library, with Penang Library. How can we help people with low income to have direct access, free access to experience the therapeutic and relaxation room in the public library? So generally, there's a lot of political and then lobbying, Prof, to get they agree with the idea, with the concept, and all those things. And finally, the board of directors agrees that okay, this is the time for the country to to give service to the public beyond the library, beyond the traditional library product, which is known as books and information. So I would say that in the future, this model can be benefits the country where we can give free sort of treatment room, therapeutic room in all the public facilities, not only in the library, but maybe in the mosque, in the church, or any other places where it can be accessed 24/7.
Okay. And one other thing you mentioned at the end there, you said that there was pre and post analysis with the owner. Do you have any feedback on that?
Oh, okay. So during the first discussion with the Persatuan Perpustakaan Awam Pulau Pinang, this is a public library in the Penang. Actually, none of them has been exposed to the term snoozelen or multi-sensory room. Okay, so there's a lot of education program and sharing session with the owner of the library before we engage with the equipment or the stage 1 of the study. But generally, the first analysis and why we choose the Seberang Jaya is actually because of the social demographic of the Seberang Jaya people. Majority are Malays. Actually, they need to be helped to be able to access to the sort of free facilities. So that is the starting point or the fundamental of this project. Dr. Robert.
Okay, thank you. How about the floor then? Do we have any participants on the floor, please? If you don't participate, you don't get coffee.
That's a good punishment, Dr. Robert.
Okay, well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your presentation, and we will let everybody go for coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you all for participating, and thank you for the floor for your comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to Dr. David.
Thank you, Adib.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Maybe we'll see you again in UK.
You'll see me.
Yes, thank you so much, and enjoy your breakfast, lunch, dinner. Can we have applause, please, for Dr. David?
Thank you. I'll see you at the next conference.
Now, before we start our coffee break, I would like to ask to inform that before we go on our lunchtime, before we go for our lunch, we have a good photo in the hall, in this room, and another one at the poolside, yeah, near the dinner venue. Okay, that's all. So let's go for our coffee. Let's go for our coffee.